Welcome to the Caravan Show, where we discuss all things caravans. That's right, everything you need to know about caravans, from weight, towing, maintenance, appliances, renovations, buying a caravan, repairs, destinations and reviews. We'll also chat with some Aussie legends, manufacturers, suppliers and of course, people who love caravans. Take it away, Roy.
Good morning, folks. I'm here this morning with Bruce Devereaux, who's the Division 4 Councillor for Gympie Region. Bruce, you've been given this fantastic job of telling us about your region this morning. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. And always happy to spread the good word about Gympie Region. So thank you for the opportunity.
Bruce, actually, I'm only just down the road, a couple of hours south of you in the Brisbane area. And one of the things that keeps coming up when we're talking to people is people really don't know what's on their doorstep. So it'd be good to find out a little bit about your region. I know that you are the home for the Gympie Muster, and that's a very well-known venue. And unfortunately, that got cancelled this year, didn't it?
It did, like so many other festivals around the place, yeah. But, you know, you can't predict a pandemic, and you've got to do what's right for people in the long run. So it'll just make next year's so much more enjoyable.
Well, that's
a little bit more anticipation.
Yeah, I mean, that's the go. We're going to be back bigger and better next year. Yes. Now,
Absolutely.
You yourself have actually done some caravanning of sorts around the country.
Yeah, we took 5 of our kids, so 7 of us, and we did 18 months, just over 20,000 kilometres all up in that time. So we weren't racing, which was nice.
You managed to obviously see a fair bit of the country.
You know what? I thought a year we'd have been around the whole thing. We went up as far as Wonga Beach, north of Port Douglas, where my sister has a holiday park, and we went down to Tasmania, and only to Keith, I think it is, in South Australia. We stayed in Mount Gambier. But even New South Wales, when we put it on a map, we haven't even gone out halfway into New South Wales, in New South Wales. So a lot more to do. That's
the thing, isn't it? People just don't. I mean, we all know it's a big country. We get it. But we kind of don't get it either. We understand it's big. We understand there's lots of places to go and lots of places to see. But in our travel, we tend to go from point A to point B to point C to point D, and we miss an awful lot of what's happening between those points. It's a little bit like, you know, when you go overseas on an airplane, you have the journey, which is usually tiresome and annoying or frustrating or whatever, and you get the other end and now you're at your destination and you've missed everything in between. And in Australia, I think we do that almost on a daily basis, don't we?
We do, absolutely. I've got a friend who has a group, I think they were scouts or something, and they went around Australia and they wanted to see how fast they could do it. And I think they managed like 5 days, you know, and I mean no stops. They had bottles for, you know, and it was, and I just thought to myself, they were really thrilled. And I thought, oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of that? It's just only to say you've done it, isn't it?
That's it. But they missed it. They missed the whole thing. They kind of missed the point.
So getting back to your area, which of course is the Gympie region, and I know a little bit about Gympie because we're not that far away, but again, there's so much there that I haven't been to. One of the things that I particularly like about the region is you've got freshwater fishing and you've got saltwater fishing all within your piece of landscape, don't you?
Well, yeah, even within an hour of my home, you know, in different directions. It's a wonderfully diverse region, and we often get, are we Sunshine Coast or are we, you know, the Burnett Wide Bay or whatever, and we're everything. It depends where you're standing.
So you are part of both those regions?
Well, yeah, we're part of the Wide Bay region. Oh, Wide Bay, the Webb Rock they call it, which is where the regions in the area get together. But we're also, Rainbow Beach is kind of more Sunshine Coast than what it is Gameri for sure.
Cool. Bruce, our listeners really are predominantly caravanners. So are there plenty of caravan parks in your region?
There are a few about. I'm trying to, I mean, there are free camping spots. We're looking, one of the things this council is focused on is trying to up the ante a little bit with what's available. Because one thing I know when we travelled is there are people who like free camping, people who like showgrounds, people who like staying behind pubs, and people who like caravan parks. And if you don't have their particular way of staying, of enjoying the country, they move on to the next area. So we want to make sure we've got everything for everyone. And a lot of people don't understand that if they haven't done the travelling and spoken to different people. So it's one of our big focuses going forward.
Yeah, I mean, that is one of the really, really important things is for caravanners to have somewhere to go, somewhere to stay. But I think one of the things that my listeners find from occasions are that there are areas where actually caravanners aren't particularly welcome. And we've, I'm kind of blown away by that because we all know how important the tourist dollar is to our regional communities. So I'm kind of blown away. But I take it from the sound of this, that's not the case in Gympie. You do want the guys there.
Look, it's an ongoing conversation. It's been a fair bit to turn people around and to see that it's worth council investing money in toilets that most people in the region aren't going to use to get those people to stay here and spend money. I know when we did our 18 months, we bought 7 tyres, okay? And we bought the tyres in the places we were at when we needed them. So do you know what I'm saying? And that's just tyres. There's the groceries, there's cups of tea, there's all the rest of it. You want people to come to the region and stay in the region for a while and experience it, and that's good for the economy. It is the tourist dollar that gets spent, and it has been. I'm getting a bit muddled here, but on Facebook for the last couple of years, I have pushed and pushed and pushed for this sort of thing whenever it's come up in a discussion. And finally, I'm in a position where I can push a little bit harder.
Good on you. And, of course, look, you're 100% right. And I mean 100% right. We need tourists into these regions because it brings so much money in. I mean, the sort of money that we're talking that Australians spend on tourism per annum, I believe, is in the order of about $650 billion. And most of that goes overseas, with local tourism bringing in overseas tourism values of around $460 billion. So if we were to spend our holiday monies internally in Australia would be so much better off. Absolutely booming. And so we'd have a lot more money coming into these areas, to these regional areas, and boosting our economy. And we'd just, look, I'm a great believer in local tourism. I'm a great believer in local manufacturing. We won't touch that one today. But, we really need to look after ourselves. And having councils wanting tourism, I think, is a major part of that. They really, and as you say, you need dump points, you need toilets, you need facilities. The other thing that's big for our listeners is, is there somewhere they can get their car fixed or their caravan fixed? There's there facilities for that.
Yes, yeah, we've got some. I've got a local bloke. My car's going in tomorrow down at. Can I say the name?
By all means, yes.
Velmec. Paul Vella's looked after our vehicle for years, and he's brilliant. So we're taking our car down there, the car that we pulled behind us while we travelled, and he's doing some work. But look, Gympie is full of very dedicated, very good tradesmen and everything else. I know that everywhere will say that, but one of the reasons I came to Gympie 25 years ago is Brisbane was too expensive for me, and the Sunshine Coast was too expensive for me. I came to Gympie, and suddenly I could live and give my kids the lifestyle I wanted. So, and a lot of other tradesmen feel the same. They're here because they like the lifestyle.
Yeah,
so,
and lifestyle's,
be a problem.
Yeah, lifestyle's what it's all about. And of course, in your region, you've got so many things to do, so many places to go. We know of some of them. You're a gateway to Fraser Island. You've got Rainbow Beach, the Sandblow, which you mentioned before. You mentioned actually off mic, didn't you? That you only relatively recently found that one.
Yeah, we came back from 18 months, and we were sitting at home, and we realised that we hadn't really explored our own region. Here we were going out and exploring others, and so we looked a few things up in the Sandblow. So we went out there, and we're standing there looking at it and thinking, what else have we missed? Tracy's been here since she was 1. I've been here 25 years. What else have we missed? So we made a point of getting out there and seeing what's on offer in our own region, and it's fantastic. We're loving it. We've got the Kumbumba Falls, I think it's called, out Kameri Way. And there's bike tracks. There's the last council put in these the river walk and so forth, which has been great for locals, but also it's a lovely walk down Mary River, and you can go in and do a complete circle if you want, if you've got 3 hours.
Yeah, of course, you've got that train, the Mary Valley Rattler.
The Rattler, yes,
Yeah.
we've got the Rattler, which is opening up again soon after this lockdown.
Yep.
So they're very excited to get things running again. So yeah, there's a lot to do. There's horses. There's all sorts of things. But,
Bruce, a lot of this stuff you can find on Google. But one of the questions I really like to ask people in your position is some of the local secrets, because there's always those secret places that don't get promoted. A special place that you like to go to that is really a little bit unique, maybe, or a bit different to the mainstream stuff. So, if I was to say, can you think of 3 of those? What would you come up with?
Well, I like taking the kids out for a cuppa. So for me, one of the best little places, I don't know how secret it is, Imbil, is just beautiful. They've got a park there with the kids. They've got an old railway station that you can go and have a little look at. And it is a beautiful place to look at the Mary River. On your way down to Rainbow Beach, there's, this will just bug me not knowing the name of it. There's, on the way to Rainbow Beach, on your left, there's a little spot you can pull up and park and go in, and it's just like a stream, a little beautiful clear water, freshwater stream that you can have a dip in. And I'll find it while we're talking. I'll find that and let you know the name.
Yeah, no, that's good. Imbil's one of my favourite places. I absolutely adore Imbil, so that one's a good call.
It is lovely. And just recently we've been going out exploring the area, and the Theebine pub, if you get a chance, it's in the middle of nowhere almost, but it's this tiny little township right on where the railway was, and the Theebine pub is a lovely spot to pull up and have a beer and have a old fashioned sort of a meal, and occasionally they put on live music. So it's been wonderful.
And of course, lest we forget, there's Tin Can Bay. I mean, wow, you can do dolphin feeding at Tin Can Bay, can't you?
Now, you asked me for my secret spots.
Yeah.
Tin Can Bay, I was keeping that one. That's mine. Every year we used to go down to Tin Can Bay prior to heading off for a week, and we'd rent a house out down there. And they do have caravan parks and all the rest. And a dump point, I'm pleased to say. We're getting more of them around the region. But we'd go down for a week, and it was just, there's a circle of footpaths and stuff where you could ride your bikes, and they'd ride the bikes in this huge loop with the kids every single day. We'd walk to the park, and we'd go and see the dolphins where you can actually feed the dolphins. It's a beautiful, quiet place, peaceful place. And some people like the tourist kind of Rainbow Beach. Yeah. For myself and our family, it's the quiet Tin Can Bay that we appreciate.
How many caravan parks do you actually think you'd have in your region?
Well, I think there'd probably be a half dozen easy, because since becoming a councillor, I'm starting to learn where they are. For us, we've only stayed in, I think, half a dozen caravan parks on our travels, maybe 10, because we did tend to stay at showgrounds, and that was our preference anyway. Yeah. But
a lot of my listeners do free camping as well, but these caravan parks are crucial to the caravanning industry. They're crucial to local industry, regions like yourself, where people can come in, stay at the park, and then they're going to go out and do some of the local stuff. So some of the things that we haven't spoken about, and I know is available in your region, is markets and all the arts and craft places and things like that you can travel and do as well, of course.
That's right. There's markets at the duck ponds here, Albert Park, which Charlie Horn is looking after now. He's a guy I've known for years. And actually, he closed down the markets because of the COVID-19. And he's just started them up. They just had their second one. He said it was a huge success, which is wonderful. And then the Southside School has, under normal circumstances, a market on the other weekend. So, they kind of flip back and forward. One thing that I hear is being talked about is having a night market somewhere. So that's not through council. That's something I just got told yesterday. Actually, someone was looking at it, so that's very exciting because they're beautiful, that sort of thing. And we also have a lot of in the street. The Chamber of Commerce in Gympie puts on a few events, festivals up the street, like a winter markets and stuff like that, every now and again, and they're always really good fun with some lovely food vendors showing off their wares, and
one of the questions
it's great.
One of the questions that I often ask is, is there a particularly good time of the year? But I guess in your region, there really isn't, is there? I mean, there's something happening for everyone all year long.
Well, I guess if you're from down south, you want to come in winter.
Well, that's true.
Because it's a bit warmer. But yeah, no, all year round we've got the Pumpkin Festival. We've got the Great Horse Ride, the Kilkevin Great Horse Ride. We've got the Gameri Pumpkin Festival. We've got all these little events that happen around the place, which a lot of people don't even realise are here. Now, 25 years, I've never been to the Pumpkin Festival. It's on my list. And I'm going this year. I'm not going to miss it.
Yeah, I mean,
next year.
I hope they're listening to this and make sure you do it, of course. One of the things that people have done with their travelling is they like to go overseas because of the history, and it always blows me away because actually, even though Australia's history arguably isn't as good as Europe's, in some ways actually it's better. I mean, we actually go back further in time, but in your region, weren't you originally a gold rush town?
Yes, we're the town that saved Queensland because they found gold here. So that's why we've got things like the Gold Rush Festival and the Heart of Gold Film Festival, international film festival that we hold. Which, if your listeners can get here for that. That is an event I highly recommend. It's all short films, and they're broken into groupings, and it's just a wonderful experience to go along and watch these feel-good movies because they are feel-good movies. So yeah, that's something I'd recommend.
What about historical buildings and historical sites?
Well, I was just the other day, Councillor Dolly Jensen and I, because we're going out to the different areas, and we went out to Kilkevin, and we found out that David Jones, the department store, they had a property out there. Oh. And when you look on the wall of the past mayors, like every third one was a Jones, a family member. And I'm told there was a time there when the property they had there was supporting the department store early on. And it was, so as a bit of history, local history, again, I had no idea. There's a short film about it that I'm going to look into. But while I was there, I was just saying, well, this is something that we should be like showing and proud of it and displaying somewhere in town. It's
absolutely.
Because that's the stuff I enjoyed when we went to Brisbane and with the BG Way that they've got there in Redland.
In Redcliffe, yeah.
Redcliffe, yeah. Thank you. I loved it. It was wonderful to walk down that with the kids and hear the music and read the little bits of history. And, it's that sort of thing that attracts people.
We're really hoping more and more of these regional centres will do this, wake up to the fact that we can invite our own people. And you know what, when we're travelling, again, I repeat myself on this constantly, if you like, we don't have to worry about language barriers, well, at least mostly. I mean, I've been a couple of places in Australia where you could question that one, but usually the language is the same. The money's certainly the same. The food's the same. We don't need to spend a fortune on exchange rates for our dollar. It's dollar's a dollar, no matter where you go. We got all these advantages. If we would only wake up the fact that thousands of people travel to this country to see it every year, and hundreds of thousands of people travel out this country to see other things, and you say, why? It's on our doorstep. Come and visit it, come and see it. And if our councils embrace that and start to spend money on local infrastructure to promote tourism, so that we are inviting people and saying, look, you're welcome here, we really want you here, that's got to be a win-win for absolutely everybody. And I guess that's part of the reason I originally started the idea of this podcast, talking to the mayors and people like yourself, David, Bruce, sorry, to say, hey, let's do more. Let's invite these people. Let's get these people moving around the country, and let's enjoy these things. I'm just going to skip back to a question about secrets that I asked before. Of course, being a former gold rush town, I'm just wondering if you've got any spots where people should come and maybe dig for gold.
Well, we do. You can pan for gold right near the mining, the museum that we've got. Again, that's at what we call the Duck Ponds, but it's Albert Park. You can get your little permit and your pan and go down there and pan for gold. We encourage it.
Are they finding gold there?
Well, the gold mine here shut down a few years ago, but it wasn't, I don't think, because there was no gold. It was because something about they invested in a coal somewhere else and it went bad, and then the company didn't do so well. So there's still gold. In fact, we know of, I know of, actually, I've got to be careful there. Cut that bit out, would you?
That's all right.
There is still gold.
There's still gold. And it's still gold, not black gold.
Yes, yeah, it's still the good stuff. It's the good stuff. I found the name of that creek on the way to Rainbow. It's Ceres Creek.
Ceres Creek
is the one I'm talking about, and a beautiful spot. If you look it up on the internet, you'll see some photos of just how clear the water is. It's not huge. It's just nice.
That's
and,
what. Yeah.
Yeah.
And crocodile free, of course. When we go much further and we worry about them. So, yeah. What are your roads like?
Keep it that way.
Your roads in the Gympie region. I mean, my travelling up that way in recent times, the roads, I think, have improved, haven't they?
I would hope so. You know, roads are always going to be a problem in such a big area. Making sure that they're looked after. It's going to be a focus going forward of this council to try and fix any little problems that we've got. The main roads are fine. Generally, it's when you start to get off them a little bit that we're not happy with them as the councillors. We want to look at that. So,
sure.
But you know, you're not going to do a diff or anything. I don't think it's not 4-wheel drives only.
So what sort
Although you can go to Rainbow Beach and go on the beach and go up to Double Island Point, which I've done a few times at night even, which has been wonderful.
Just watch out for the sinkholes.
Yeah, they're more the other end.
Bruce, what sort of area does your region cover? How many square kilometres, I guess? Yeah. Any idea?
Oh, well, huge. Huge? We've got, we go from Gameri to Theebine, down to, we're not in Kenilworth, but Imbil, out to Rainbow. It is a huge area, and that's one of the struggles that we've got with trying to balance things like roads and infrastructure and so forth, is that we do cover such a large area with a relatively small population of 50,000 people. So, this is again one of the reasons why this council is going to be focusing on things like local tourism and not the big items, but just getting the small things right, like having the dump points where we need them, having the different sorts of camping where we need them, signposting what's in an area and trying to get it out there. And to be honest with you, I think this COVID-19 is you know, when you watch international news, it sounds horrible to say, but you know, we've done well, really
We're very
well.
lucky, yes.
We're going to focus on local tourism and getting people to stop and have a look, instead of using us as the gateway to Fraser Island, use it as a bit of a destination on your way to Fraser Island. So, and on your way north, that's one thing we're very, very interested in looking at.
You mentioned Kenilworth before, and actually that's another beautiful part of the place, with a magnificent caravan park there up at Kenilworth. In fact, a different hat that I wear, we have an owners group that had their muster at Kenilworth last year. It was fantastic time, you know.
Yeah, we've stayed at Kenilworth several times. And it was one of the places I looked at because we stayed there so early, and I thought, why aren't we doing this in Gympie? the showgrounds. Like I say, for me, it's more showgrounds than it is caravan parks.
Yeah, no,
and my sister will hate that because she's got the holiday park up in Wonga Beach. But but anyway, that's it. People different strokes for different blokes.
Look, absolutely. Some of the caravan, we hear that some of the caravan parks are opposed to the free parks, but actually, at the end of the day, I think they're hand in hand. The caravan parks in total, in any region, couldn't handle all the available caravanners that are out there. So we need both. We need some of those caravan parks and some of those free parks to attract more and more people into our regions. That's right. I will name one here that's got a fantastic reputation too. We've got a couple. Stand Down Caravan Park, which is, again, if you come to Gympie and you turn right on your way to Rainbow, that's down that way, has a wonderful reputation. So, we've got some really nice ones. We're the Cobb and Co out near the rock pools. I've got friends, a family actually, that go out there every second year. So, there's some great places around, and I may not know them all, but I'll get there. I've only been a councillor for 8 weeks, coming up to 8 weeks. Oh, you're a newbie. Okay.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
But that's a good thing. I mean, we come into these things with lots of enthusiasm, don't we? So I'll be keen to see what you manage to achieve.
Well, on my travels, one of what I am, or what I was before this, but still am, is a blogger. So I write.
Right.
And I write up mainly anecdotes with the family. So as we travelled, I was able to put up stories about all the different places that we travelled. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to taking my family to these spots and writing them up myself as I go. So
do you have a website, Bruce?
I do. You want it?
Yeah.
Big family, little income.
Big family, little income.
That's it.
Good on you. Bruce, you've been a delight to talk to today, and I really thank you for your time and all that information. And hopefully we'll be able to have another chat on another day and talk about some of the other things that are happening. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
And now I know the sorts of questions you want to ask. I'll have some answers.
Good on you, Bruce. All right, thank you.
Lovely to talk to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Bye now.